You did mention that there were some concerns in regards to this issue. So now that you've observed how everything has gone for this past semester, have these thoughts and feelings of yours changed or evolved in any way?
All our lecturers, all our colleagues are already very used to home-based learning and working from home. So it has settled down to a certain kind of tempo. So right now, our concern is actually more towards how can we resume lessons in a safe way? How can we bring back more students in a manner which continue to ensure their safety and well-being, not just of the students but also our staff who are teaching them. At the same time, making sure that they are able to learn more effectively. Come October semester, we intend to increase the numbers even further so that more students can be back on campus to benefit from that face-to-face interactions with one another as well as with their lecturers. So this is something which we are doing. Actually, the other parts which have not been so obvious is the fact that the campus continue to run very smoothly, and this is really because of a team of very hardworking colleagues who have been working in the background, making sure that the campus continues to run well, that it continues to be almost business as usual for the rest of the things that needs to happen on campus. So I think the first thing that we have to ensure is to remind all our students that, as well as our staff, that if you are not feeling well, please, let your lecturers know and do not come back to campus. The second thing that we did was any students and staff who come back to campus, they need to have their temperature checked, and this has to be done twice a day, so that any students who are not feeling well, any staff who are not feeling well can be picked up and then can be asked to, and we can look after them and make sure that they have the proper medical care that is extended to them. The third area is really to ensure that when you are back on campus, you practice safe management measures. So wearing a mask, maintaining that social distance between one another. So in class, you will notice that when you come back to campus, you have to sit 1 meter apart from one another, and you have to wear masks. We are not wearing masks now because we are sitting relatively further apart from one another. But when you're in classrooms, when you're moving around on campus, when you're in the canteens, in the food court, please wear your mask. Then of course, other things that have been implemented across Singapore as well, like when you come in, make sure you have your safe entry, make sure you log into safe entry, make sure you have your Trace Together app that's downloaded into your phone, so that if there's any touch wood, cases of infection within the campus, we can trace who has been in contact with the infected person and quarantine them as quickly as possible. The campus used to be an open one. Anybody can just come into the campus. But during this COVID-19 period, we have to ensure that the campus is safe for everybody. So only authorized persons who have business to be on campus are allowed into the campus. So that is why you might experience some inconvenience coming into campus and can only come in certain through certain gates in TP.
Okay, so there were many measures taken to make sure that it was safe for us to return to campus. And like I said, there were many students who had concerns when returning to campus. But
do you have concerns?
Yeah, I do have concerns.
Oh, really?
But at the same time, many of us also miss going back to school, and I also miss going back to school. So I think one question that a lot of students will want to ask is, in October semester, will we be returning back to school? And I know you kind of mentioned that you are planning to send larger groups of students back to school in October.
Right. Yeah.
So perhaps you could share more about what the new norm would be like for us in the future.
So in the previous semester, the April semester, every student will maybe come back to campus maybe about once a week. That's for your practical sessions or for maybe some face-to-face tutorial classes. In October semester, we hope that every student will have the chance to come back to campus maybe about twice or 3 times a week, so that they have greater amounts of face-to-face interactions with one another to enhance their learning, as well as with their lecturers. And what you would expect to see in the October semester would be that your lectures will still be largely conducted online. Most of the tutorial classes probably will be conducted in a face-to-face mode, and definitely most of your practical sessions will be done on campus. I think first is really the fact that our students actually have learned to be a lot more self-directed in their learning because of home-based learning. I think this is something which we have seen in quite a lot of the students who we have surveyed throughout the semester. Because of home-based learning, we were actually able to do a lot of things online that previously may not be possible, because with a lot of these materials that are now online, the students can actually use their own time to understand the concepts better, or to read up, to listen to a lecture before the tutorial class, so that their understanding of the concepts can be better. And then when you come for the tutorial class, the focus of the lecturer is really to help you to understand the concepts, to go through some of the work examples, and to answer any questions that you may have, to further explain the concepts, so that it can help you in your understanding. The other aspect of COVID-19 is that we have also digitalized a lot of the processes that used to be done face-to-face, and we thought were not possible to be done online. So one example is some of the practical sessions, for like what I mentioned earlier. We used to have the mental model that all the practical sessions must be done on campus, but because of COVID-19, because of circuit breaker, our lecturers have been very innovative in terms of trying to see how some of these practical sessions can continue to be conducted in a home-based learning kind of environment. And we hope that this can continue, so that our students, some of them maybe even could have the ability to actually continue doing their experiments even from home. They can actually have the ability to look at the lab or the workshop from their home, to conduct the experiment even from home, and to monitor the results of their experiments without physically being on campus. And this is something which we are trying to do for some of our labs and the workshops in schools like engineering and applied science. The third silver lining is the fact that for your lecturers, for the other staff of TP, we are able to work from home, and I think a lot of us find that it helps us to save a lot of time in terms of telecommuting, so that we can actually use some of the time that's saved in commuting to work to spend a bit more time in terms of thinking about how we can conduct our lessons better, how can we do our work in a more efficient way. So these are some of the things that I think has been very useful to help us understand how we can use technology better, so that we can be more effective, either in terms of helping you to learn better or to do our work more efficiently and more effectively.